The major upgrades each F1 team has brought to Spain. With the Spanish Grand Prix this weekend, a lot of F1 teams have chosen this particular race to bring some rather major upgrades. With the introduction of F1's new show and tell system, we don't have to guess anymore about what each team has brought. They all have to be completely crystal clear with the FIA as to any changes they make each weekend. Whether you agree or disagree with this system, it's given us an insight into which teams have introduced more to their car than others. Let's start with Haas, shall we? You know how I mentioned loads of teams have decided Catalonia is the track to bring major updates? Well, as I look at the document now, Haas have brought absolutely nothing to this weekend. Gives me 2021 vibes. Next up, we'll go to Mercedes, a team that really needs some changes and fast if they want any hope of challenging for this year's title. They've changed a few things for this weekend, including the front wing end plate, which is designed to improve flow to the rear of the car, the floor edge, which a lot of other F1 teams have already been doing, where they have added a slot to the outer edge, which they hope will improve floor performance, the rear corner in an attempt to increase overall diffuser load, and finally, Mercedes have modified the floor body to generate local load in the middle of the car. Let's move on to the Red Bull team, who have been eating away at Ferrari's lead over the last few races. Sad Charles Leclerc noises. And they've not changed all that much, actually. Some minor changes, including a new flap to the front wing and an amendment to the floor body to try and improve the total pressure on the upper surface of the floor. Since we just mentioned Ferrari, let's talk about their upgrades. They are coming into this weekend with high hopes to be back at the front with 3 particular changes. The first 2 changes are for the floor body and the rear corner of the car, both of which are aimed at improving the overall aerodynamic performance. And finally, and more noticeably, they have introduced a new higher downforce top rear wing for this weekend, specifically to adapt to the Catalunya circuit. Moving on now, we head to the team of Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo, McLaren. It's funny, a lot of people are saying, oh my god, Ferrari bringing such huge upgrades, but when I look at this FIA document, Ferrari have brought 3, and fair enough, they are pretty major. McLaren have brought 10. They've changed the front wing, front suspension, front corner, floor body, coke/engine cover, cooling louvres, rear wing, rear corner, side pod inlet, and diffuser. It could mean good things for all you McLaren fans, but it also opens up the possibility of at least one of them maybe not working as hoped. Alpine have brought 4 upgrades to this weekend. They've changed their rear wing in order to bring more downforce to this particular race, their front wing end plate to also generate more downforce and improve flow behind the front wing, and 2 changes have been made to the rear corner of the car, making minor tweaks to the brakes in order to improve aero performance. Now, a big talking point of this weekend already is Aston Martin. They've done it again. If you've watched F1 for a few years now, you would have seen when Aston Martin, formerly known as Racing Point, did a cheeky copy of the 2019 Mercedes for their 2020 car. This time, however, they've done it during a season and taken inspiration from the current Red Bull. In total, they've brought 8 upgrades, which include the floor body, floor fences, floor edge, side pod inlet, coke/engine cover, cooling louvres, rear wing, and halo. Before you all say that teams aren't allowed to change the halo mat, all they've gone and done is add a vane on top of the halo to improve airflow to the rear of the car. Will the green Red Bull make its way up the grid? Only time will tell. Our next team is Alfa Romeo, who have also brought 8 upgrades. It really is the Spanish upgrade GP this weekend, isn't it? These include the front wing, front suspension, 2 for the coke/engine cover, floor body, cooling louvres, rear suspension, and rear wing. One that I found particularly interesting was one of the coke/engine cover upgrades, where they've redesigned the mirror to embed sensors used in practice sessions. Williams are up next, and they've brought 3 upgrades, 2 of which are specific to the Barcelona circuit, and that's a more loaded front wing to help the balance of the car, and a more loaded rear wing to suit Catalunya's characteristics. Finally, they've adjusted the rear corner of the car to include a new group of winglets on the rear brake duct, which is there to help change the airflow around the rear of the tyre. Last but by no means least is AlphaTauri. I left them till last because they have one very simple change this weekend, and it is to the rear wing and has been brought in, just like other teams, specifically for this high downforce track in Spain. There you have it, an insight into all the upgrades the teams have brought for this weekend. Who is your money on to make the biggest gains? Let us know in the comment section below.